Greetings, citizens of the digital world. It is I, the Serial Killer, coming to you today on day 202 of the year of vlogging dangerously. And today I would like to meditate on the state of media in the world and the media's reaction to tragedy. Yeah, it's not going to be a jokey one at all. Today is the day after, technically. I guess it is the day of a great tragedy in Colorado, in Aurora, where an armed lunatic, there's no other word to use there, an armed, deranged individual busted into a theater and killed 14 or 13 people, was it? Killed 12 people and injured some 50-some people as he opened fire with an automatic or a semi-automatic rifle, a shotgun, and a handgun, fully armored in riot gear and a bulletproof vest. If you haven't heard about it yet, well, at least at this point, it's more than likely too late. I'm going to only say this about the event: it is a tragedy. Any death that it comes at the hands of violence is deplorable, and it's something that we should take a moment to reflect upon and learn from, because it's not something that should be emulated by anybody. It's things that we should stand against. But what gets me is the media's reaction. Within a few hours of the event, what we had in the media was, or what was known to the world at large, was a gunman opened fire in a movie theater, killing several people. Nothing more was conclusively known, yet that did not stop the media from parading out a litany of facts, of hearsay, essentially, of things that, were they to be brought up in a court of law, would not stand at all, would not even be allowed to be mentioned, because they were merely hearsay. And from then on, it got even more sensational. I read an article today in The Guardian, or on The Guardian Online, a UK, from a British outlet. In this article, it was one of the purest examples of shoddy journalism I have ever seen in my life. And when it comes in a case like this, it's even more startling and stark, because it does nothing but muddle things and raise questionable responses. The hate is obvious. There's people that laid blame right away. There's people that laid blame on video games, on movie violence, that blamed the movie makers themselves. There was people that instantly assumed it was something to do with Muslim terror. There are people who freaked out at gun owners in general. It's natural human behavior. But it's not helped by media articles like this one that I read in The Guardian, where the article, its only actual sources were third-hand accounts from witnesses, regurgitated from other articles that were getting further and further away from the truth, and an interview with a New York City police commissioner about an incident that happened in Colorado. Now, as it turns out that it appears, if the citation is to be believed, that the New York Police Commissioner had spoken to a police officer who was part of the investigation because they worked together in the past. But this is not a citation. This is secondhand information at its best. More than likely, this officer from Aurora was not a first responder, therefore didn't have first-hand information, may not have directly spoken to the suspect himself, and yet here it is. It goes out there. And I am, by the way, one of the people who is going to stand by the don't sensationalize this, do not give this man any form of media, don't mention his name, nothing. I am not going to, because it's just giving his ego, narcissistic, psychotic ass more credit than is due. The man is a scumbag and does not deserve any measure of infamy or fame at all. And the media seems absolutely obsessed with putting out every detail they can get of his life. The things that really struck me as the worst things they could say about in this article, the most grasping at straws in an obviously stupid way things are, that he claimed to be the Joker when the Aurora police refused to say anything about the case. How the hell did this police commissioner from New York get the fact that the guy claimed to be the Joker? And oh yes, he had dyed his hair red. Now, anybody that knows anything about the Batman universe at all knows that the Joker has never had red hair, so these two things are completely disassociated with one another. Even if he had red hair, it had nothing to do with the Joker. It had nothing to do with him claiming to be the Joker, and it was a fact that was thrown in at random, essentially, to this article, on top of bouncing references to the media lead up to the movie, the hype around the movie, early reviews of the movie, eyewitness accounts. All these other things are jumbled together in one ADD-addled crap fest of an article. Now, I am not a journalist by any stretch of the means, but I can recognize shoddy journalism. There is a standard you should be held to when you are a fucking journalist. There's a standard you should be held to. I'm not holding myself accountable too much because I'm not a journalist, but I still try to keep some integrity and straighten some facts out before I speak about something. It's the same. This is the same sensationalist bullshit that Rush Limbaugh came up with in this movie, where there's a quote from Rush Limbaugh where he talks about the movie where he says that Bane, the villain Bane, B-A-N-E, is a jab at Mitt Romney's time at Bain Capital, or something to this effect. But he does not spell Bain Capital. Bain Capital on the radio, he did not spell it out loud. Bain Capital spelled B-A-I-N-E. It's a completely different thing. The character has existed since the 90s. Fuck you, Rush Limbaugh. And fuck everybody that's trying to benefit off of this. There was some Yahoo congressman in Texas who claimed that if everybody in the theater or if more people in the theater had a gun, this would not have happened. I'm sorry, in a dark theater, if more people had been firing, more people would have died. The fact that the guy perpetrated this heinous crime in the first place is bad enough. Let's not go adding guns to the fire, you idiot. But it's journalistic sensationalism that just does nothing. It does nothing but make things worse, sour. It inundates the brain-dead masses, because I'm going to outright say it, the masses. Culture, society these days, it's fairly brain-dead. Individuals can be intelligent, but mobs are dumb. And this just feeds the mobs. It feeds them hate. It feeds them misinformation. It feeds them too much information for something that all they need to know is it's a fucking tragedy. It didn't need to happen. That's all they should know. But we, of course, are bombarded, and I find it disgusting, I find it loathsome, and the media should be bloody well held accountable. This is just one case of media sensationalism, just taking things entirely too far. And on that note, I have been the Serial Killer. I've rambled entirely too fucking long. You probably haven't listened, and I would understand if you hadn't, because really I'm just being a ranty asshole today. I got my power back at least. That's good. Anyway, questions, comments, concerns, death threats, you know where to put them. Put them in the comment section below. I'm going to go pass the fuck out because I've had enough of today. I'll talk to you tomorrow.